Why we can't live without deceit. In the intricate tapestry of human existence, we find ourselves confronted with a profound and often unsettling truth. Deception is not merely a part of our lives, but an essential thread woven into the very fabric of our reality. As we embark on this exploration of why we can't live without deceit, we must prepare ourselves to confront uncomfortable truths about our nature, our relationships, and the very foundations of our society. At first glance, the idea that we cannot live without deceit may seem counterintuitive, even abhorrent. We've been taught from a young age that honesty is a virtue, that truth is sacred, and that lies are the domain of the unethical and the immoral. Yet, as we peel back the layers of our existence, we begin to see that deception, in its myriad forms, plays a crucial role in our survival, our social cohesion, and even our personal growth. Consider for a moment the small lies we tell every day. The polite fictions that smooth our social interactions, the white lies that spare feelings, the omissions that maintain peace. Are these not a form of deception? And yet, can we imagine a world without them? A world where brutal honesty reigns supreme, where every thought and feeling is laid bare without filter or consideration. Such a world, I posit, would be unbearable. The constant onslaught of unfiltered truth would erode the very foundations of our social structures, our relationships, and our sense of self. We must ask ourselves, is absolute truth always a virtue? Or is there wisdom in the judicious use of deception? As we delve deeper into this topic, we must expand our understanding of what constitutes deception. It is not merely the act of telling an outright lie. Deception encompasses a vast spectrum of behaviors and thought patterns, from self-deception to social niceties, from the placebo effect to the narratives we construct about our lives and our world. Consider the role of self-deception in our lives. How often do we tell ourselves comforting lies to get through difficult times? The belief that things will get better, that we are more capable than we feel, that our efforts will eventually pay off. These are all forms of self-deception that can be crucial for our mental health and motivation. Without these internal lies, how many of us would succumb to despair in the face of life's challenges? But self-deception goes beyond mere coping mechanisms. It is fundamental to our sense of self, our identity, and our place in the world. We construct narratives about who we are, carefully selecting and interpreting memories and experiences to create a coherent self-image. This selective perception and memory is a form of deception, yet it is essential for our psychological well-being and our ability to function in the world. We must ask ourselves, who would we be without these self-deceptions? Would we even recognize ourselves if we were to confront the unvarnished truth of our existence, stripped of the comforting lies we tell ourselves? Moving beyond the individual, we see that deception plays a crucial role in our social interactions and the very fabric of our society. From the white lies we tell to maintain harmony in our relationships to the grand narratives that bind societies together, deception is woven into the very fabric of our collective existence. Consider the concept of social cohesion. How much of what holds us together as communities, as nations, as a global society is based on shared illusions? The value of money, the legitimacy of governments, the sanctity of borders, these are all constructs that we collectively agree to believe in, even though they have no intrinsic reality beyond our shared deception. We must confront a difficult question. If we were to strip away all these shared illusions, these collective deceptions, what would remain of our civilization? Would we be able to function as a society without these agreed-upon fictions? As we continue our exploration, we will delve into the biological and evolutionary roots of deception. We will examine how the ability to deceive and to detect deception has been crucial to our survival as a species. We will explore the complex interplay between truth and deception in our personal relationships, our professional lives, and our spiritual beliefs. We will confront the ethical dilemmas posed by necessary deception. How do we navigate the murky waters of when to deceive and when to be truthful? How do we balance the need for social harmony with the pursuit of truth? These are questions that have plagued philosophers and ethicists for millennia, and we will grapple with them anew in the context of our modern world. As we proceed, I urge you to reflect deeply on your own relationship with deception. How often do you engage in self-deception? What lies do you tell to maintain your relationships, your sense of self, your place in society? Are these deceptions serving you, or are they holding you back? Remember, our goal is not to condemn deception outright, nor to glorify dishonesty. Rather, it is to understand the complex and often paradoxical role that deception plays in our lives. By understanding this, we can hope to navigate our world with greater wisdom, compassion, and authenticity. Are you ready to pull back the veil and confront the uncomfortable truths about deception in our lives? Are you prepared to question your deepest assumptions about truth, honesty, and the nature of reality itself? Then let us continue on this journey of discovery as we explore why we truly can't live without deceit. The mirage of truth deception as the bedrock of civilization. As we delve deeper into the intricate web of deception that underpins our existence, we must confront a startling realization: civilization itself is built upon a foundation of lies. This is not a cynical assertion, but a profound truth that reveals the complexity of human society and the ingenuity of our collective imagination. Consider, for a moment, the concept of money. We ascribe value to pieces of paper or digital numbers, believing in their worth simply because we collectively agree to do so. Is this not a form of mass deception? Yet, without this shared illusion, our entire economic system would crumble. We have constructed an elaborate fantasy, a global game of pretend that allows us to trade, build, and progress as a species. But the deception goes far beyond economics. Our legal systems, our governments, our very nations are constructs built on shared beliefs and agreed upon fictions. The lines on a map that define countries, the authority we grant to elected officials, the rights we believe we possess, all of these are, in essence, elaborate deceptions that we collectively maintain for the sake of order and progress. We must ask ourselves, if we were to strip away all these shared illusions, what would remain of our civilization? Would we be able to function as a society without these agreed upon fictions? The answer, I believe, is a resounding no. These deceptions are not mere frivolities or unfortunate necessities. They are the very bedrock upon which we have built our world. They are the tools we have crafted to transcend our individual limitations and create something greater than ourselves. But this realization brings with it a heavy burden. If our world is built on deception, how can we trust anything? How do we navigate this landscape of illusions without losing ourselves entirely? The key lies in understanding that not all deceptions are created equal. There is a profound difference between the shared illusions that bind us together and the malicious lies that tear us apart. Our task as conscious beings is to discern between the two, to recognize the necessary fictions that serve a greater good while remaining vigilant against those deceptions that harm and divide us. Consider the role of religion and spirituality in human society. These belief systems, regardless of their ultimate truth or falsity, have provided comfort, meaning, and moral guidance to billions of people throughout history. They have inspired great works of art, acts of charity, and profound philosophical insights. Are we to dismiss all of this as mere deception? Or can we recognize the value in these shared narratives, even as we acknowledge their constructed nature? We must also confront the role of deception in our personal relationships. The white lies we tell to spare feelings, the omissions we make to maintain peace, the facades we present to the world, all of these are forms of deception. Yet they often serve to lubricate the gears of social interaction, allowing us to navigate complex emotional landscapes with greater ease. But here we must tread carefully. For while some level of deception may be necessary in our relationships, too much can erode trust and intimacy. We must strike a delicate balance, using deception judiciously and with awareness of its potential consequences. As we navigate this complex landscape of necessary illusions and potential pitfalls, we must cultivate a deep sense of discernment. We must learn to recognize the difference between deceptions that serve a greater good and those that merely serve individual interests. We must become adept at peering beyond the veil of illusion, not to tear it down entirely, but to understand its nature and purpose. I challenge you to reflect on the deceptions that shape your own life. What illusions do you maintain about yourself, your relationships, your place in the world? Are these deceptions serving you, or are they holding you back? Can you find the courage to confront these illusions, not necessarily to dispel them, but to understand their role in your life? As we continue our exploration, remember that the goal is not to eliminate all deception from our lives, for that would be both impossible and undesirable. Rather, our aim is to develop a more nuanced understanding of the role of deception in our world, to use it wisely and ethically, and to navigate the complex interplay between truth and illusion with greater wisdom and compassion. The Shadow Dance, embracing deception as a path to enlightenment. As we continue our journey through the labyrinth of necessary deception, we arrive at a paradoxical crossroads. We've recognized the pervasive nature of deception in our lives and society. But now we must confront an even more challenging truth. Deception, when understood and wielded with wisdom, can be a powerful tool for personal growth and spiritual enlightenment. This notion may seem counterintuitive, even heretical. How can deception, which we've been taught to shun, possibly lead us to greater truth and understanding? The answer lies in the very nature of human perception and consciousness. Consider the concept of Maya in Eastern philosophy, the illusion that veils the true nature of reality. This illusion is not simply a deception to be discarded, but a fundamental aspect of existence that must be understood and transcended. In recognizing the illusory nature of our perceptions, we open ourselves to deeper truths about the nature of reality and our place within it. We must ask ourselves, is the goal to eliminate all illusion, or to dance skillfully with the shadows of deception, using them as a means to illuminate the deeper truths that lie beyond? This dance with deception extends to our personal growth and self-discovery. The personas we adopt, the roles we play in different aspects of our lives, these are all forms of deception. Yet, through these adopted identities, we explore different facets of our being, expand our understanding of ourselves, and ultimately grow. Think of the actor who, through portraying various characters, gains deep insights into human nature and their own psyche? Are they not engaging in a form of sanctioned deception that leads to greater truth? Even in our spiritual and philosophical pursuits, deception plays a crucial role. The koans of Zen Buddhism, the parables of various religious traditions, the thought experiments of philosophers, these are all forms of constructive deception designed to shatter our preconceptions and lead us to deeper understanding. We must confront a challenging question. Can absolute truth be conveyed directly, or is some level of deception necessary to guide us towards enlightenment? This perspective invites us to reframe our relationship with deception. Instead of viewing it as something to be eliminated, we can see it as a tool to be mastered. Like a skilled illusionist, we can learn to create and manipulate perceptions, including our own, in service of greater understanding and growth. But this path is not without its dangers. The power to deceive, even with good intentions, carries great responsibility. We must cultivate deep wisdom and ethical clarity to navigate this shadow dance without losing ourselves in the illusions we create. Consider the concept of noble lies. Proposed by Plato, falsehoods told by leaders for the greater good of society. While this idea has been justly criticized, it highlights the complex ethical terrain we must navigate when considering the role of deception in our lives and communities. We must ask ourselves, where do we draw the line between beneficial illusions and harmful deceptions? How do we cultivate the discernment to know the difference? As we wrestle with these questions, we must also confront the role of self-deception in our lives. The stories we tell ourselves about who we are, what we're capable of, and what the world is like, these are all forms of self-deception that shape our reality. But here's the paradox: sometimes these self-deceptions can become self-fulfilling prophecies. The athlete who believes they can achieve the impossible, the entrepreneur who sees opportunity where others see only obstacles, the spiritual seeker who trusts in a higher power. All of these individuals are engaging in a form of self-deception that can lead to profound transformation and achievement. I challenge you to examine your own self-deceptions. What stories do you tell yourself about who you are and what you're capable of? Are these stories limiting you? Or are they pushing you to grow beyond your perceived limitations? As we continue to explore this shadow dance with deception, remember that our goal is not to become master deceivers, but to become masters of perception, both our own and others. By understanding the role of deception in our lives and our world, we can navigate reality with greater wisdom, compassion, and authenticity. The Alchemist's Mirror, transmuting deception into transcendent truth. As we reach the culmination of our exploration into the necessity of deception, we find ourselves standing before a metaphorical mirror, one that reflects not just our physical selves, but the very nature of our reality. This mirror, like the alchemist's crucible, has the power to transmute the base metal of deception into the gold of transcendent truth. We've journeyed through the labyrinth of necessary illusions, confronted the paradoxes of beneficial deception, and danced with the shadows of our own self-deceptions. Now, we must take the final, transformative step, integrating these insights into a holistic understanding of our existence. Consider for a moment the double-edged nature of deception we've uncovered. It is both the veil that obscures reality and the lens through which we can perceive deeper truths. It is the illusion that binds us and the key that can set us free. In this paradox lies the potential for profound transformation. We must ask ourselves, how can we harness the power of deception to transcend its limitations? How can we use the very illusions that define our reality to pierce through to a higher understanding? The answer, I believe, lies in developing a meta-awareness of deception. By fully acknowledging the pervasive nature of illusion in our lives, from the social constructs that shape our society to the personal narratives that define our sense of self, we can begin to see beyond these veils. This meta-awareness doesn't mean rejecting all illusions outright. Rather, it allows us to engage with them consciously, to play with perception like a master illusionist, all the while maintaining a deep understanding of the underlying reality. Imagine being able to fully immerse yourself in the roles you play in life while simultaneously maintaining an awareness of their constructed nature. Picture navigating the complex web of social interactions with a deep understanding of the necessary fictions that oil the gears of society, yet never losing sight of the authentic connections that lie beneath. This level of awareness is not easily attained. It requires constant vigilance, deep introspection, and the courage to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves and our world. But the rewards are immeasurable. By mastering the art of conscious deception, we can navigate reality with unprecedented clarity and purpose. I challenge you to look into the alchemist's mirror. What reflections do you see? Can you perceive the layers of illusion that shape your perception? Can you recognize the necessary deceptions that have brought you to this point in your life? As you gaze into this mirror, remember that the goal is not to shatter all illusions, but to see through them to the underlying unity of existence. Like the alchemist transmuting lead into gold, we can transform our understanding of deception from a source of confusion and conflict into a wellspring of wisdom and enlightenment. In this transformation lies the ultimate paradox. By fully embracing the necessity of deception, we can transcend its limitations and touch the face of a deeper truth. We can live authentically in a world of necessary illusions, dance gracefully with the shadows of perception, and navigate the complex terrain of human existence with unprecedented skill and awareness. Are you ready to step through the alchemist's mirror? Are you prepared to transmute the base metal of deception into the gold of transcendent understanding? Then let this be not the end of our journey, but the beginning of a new way of perceiving and engaging with reality, one that acknowledges the necessity of deception while forever striving for the deepest truths of existence.